Hello everyone, this is Microcasting St. Louis. This is an update on the severe weather threats that we are currently looking like we're going to be getting, and what exactly I do expect here over the next couple of hours. First of all, I do have my severe weather outlook that I uploaded earlier today after my lightning fast forecast. You can go check that out if you would like. I'll have a link in the description for it. But that's not what we're talking about right now. Right now, we're going to talk about this tornado watch that went into effect on social media. I'm having the latest and greatest information on what exactly is going on here. But for those of you that do not follow my social media, this is basically for you. You guys on social media know a good chunk of this stuff, but I'm going to go into a little bit more depth on this particular video than before. So currently, this is what we got. Kevil and Masek, you guys at 356 and 419. Accordingly, we'll probably be getting the severe thunderstorms core. You can see this is your estimated time of arrival, and you can see those down here. Although places slightly to the north here, like LA Center, you guys are going to be getting the storm at around. Well, you guys are getting it now, but you guys would get the worst of your side of things by around 3:43 or so. But yeah, that's not exactly what we're here to talk about today. Today we're going to talk about not just this severe storm, but we're going to be talking about the rest of this over here. What issues we could be going through here soon. So first of all, we have this set of storms over here, and we actually have a little bit of a line kind of thing developing here. Now, I wouldn't be surprised if this develops into a line, heads southward. That's going to be extremely dangerous. But first, this is going to blow up over here. It's going to go up north, I think. It's going to take a turn here, and then it's going to take a turn right back south. And after it does that, that's going to be when you start to see the most dangerous part of this line. I talked about that the other day. And I talked about that today as well, but this is what, in general, we're going to be looking at. We're going to continue to see more storms blow up. Wouldn't be surprised if these go severe or are tornado warned here within the next hour or two. Not necessarily something that would be surprising. New radar image just came in, and you can see here now these storms are strengthening too. We got all these storms. Wouldn't be surprised if we get a tornado warned one here within the next half an hour or so. Talking about just how intense these storms could get, let's get started here. First of all, we're going to take a look at what's called CAPE. This is the available energy in the atmosphere measured in joules per kilogram. The gist of it is green. This is called marginal CAPE. If it's anywhere from 0 to 1,000 on here, that's marginal. That could produce a severe storm or two. 1,000 to 2,500, which we have right here, that's moderate. And then you have high. It's high energy. If it's beyond the 2,500 mark, it's extremely high energy here at around the 3,500 thing. This is when it gets exceptionally high, and you can see here we do have the possibility of big time severe weather, as we do have this exceeding 4,000 in some spots. So big time severe weather, definitely a possibility here. Wouldn't be surprised if these do, and you can see they're in plenty of energy, begin to produce tornadoes, things of that nature, maybe even a violent tornado within there, an EF2 plus. Let's talk about CAP. This is CAP. You can see it's also measured in joules per kilogram. You can see there isn't too much of that. That's how much energy it takes off, and you need that much energy in order to overthrow it. But you can see here the CAP isn't very strong at the moment. So the CAP is diminishing. It's not even relevant at this point. Then this is the energy in the upper atmosphere. So in the upper atmosphere, if it gets this high, still has lots of energy to work with. So unfortunately, that's how that's looking. Let's take a look at it's called HEI, or the Energy Helicity Index, and this is going to show us basically the two big ingredients that are conducive for tornadoes: CAPE, the energy I just showed you before, and helicity, which unfortunately I don't think I can show here, but actually I can show it. I'll show it in a little bit. But these two together can produce tornadic activity. So if it's beyond a 1, it can produce supercells. If it's beyond a 2, it get dangerous. If it's beyond a 5, which is here, that can produce very dangerous stuff. So yeah, HEI is high today. And then if we take a look at oh, it was velocity. Fortunately, I don't think I have helicity here. That's okay, though. Let's get now into the final set of things. So let's take a look at wind speed. So at 850 millibars, that's just a little bit far up in the atmosphere. You can see winds up to 33. If they exceed 40, that's what I call good wind. If it exceeds 40 miles an hour, 35 knots. You can see here we have 56, 57 mile an hour winds here. That's enough to produce severe weather here. And you can see over here, these probably aren't producing that much right now just because the winds aren't quite fast enough. But as soon as they get within this area, they'll produce severe weather. If we go down to 500, which is the final one, you can see that goes well over 60. So we do have favorable severe weather conditions. Let's talk about some other tornado condition stuff here, because tornadoes are what we're worried about today. This is called the significant tornado parameter. If it's above a 1, that's a bad thing, and you can see here it exceeds 1. It's a 1.2, 1.3. So that's a high amount of significant tornado parameter, which means that, yeah, like I said, a violent tornado could form. I only think one because of what's called supercell composite. That's not very high right now. It's only up to a 5 or 6 out of the 15 to 20. So, yeah, I definitely don't think that's going to be too high. I know this video's gone on for quite a while now, but I find this stuff important to share with you. And then finally, let's take a look at what the Futurecast says. So we're going to turn this off. We're going to turn off all watches. We're going to keep the watch on, but we're going to turn off the warnings for now. And I want to show you here what exactly this watch is going to probably look like over the next couple of hours here. So this is 3 o'clock. This is what it said would be happening at 3 o'clock. So you can see it's already over-intensified the storms a little bit. They're much more intense within this frame than in actual radar. But you should still get the general gist of things. By 4 o'clock, strengthening, especially on the storms on this side that we see right here beginning to strengthen. Those will definitely get stronger. You can also see these are going to be pretty strong as well, getting into 5 o'clock. These storms will be very strong. They're going to form into a line here, a line of convection, and that's going to be an issue. That's definitely going to produce some pretty bad stuff. Getting into 6 o'clock this evening, you're going to see the very dangerous line here really beginning to consolidate here, and this is going to be a dangerous situation as these head south. Places like Poplar Bluff, Mountain Home, Springfield's going to be having some issues. Houston definitely as well. Just places within this tornado watch. You can see what you're getting yourselves into here, and by the time we get to 5 hours out, we will probably need a new watch down on the southern side here. Wouldn't be surprised if that would be issued, but yeah, this general line here is forming on this axis. Maybe this is a tornado, not necessarily sure. And by 8 o'clock, you can see things are beginning to weaken down. Still some storms over here, though, that could be an issue. And then by 9, you can see this part's really beginning to weaken out, but we have a second line that's beginning to form here. And that's going to definitely also produce severe weather. So here we go. We're at around 11 p.m. right now. We have a secondary line moving through. Here we are. It's going to be midnight. It's going to be the 1st of June when this moves through. The severe weather will really be dying down. The Storm Prediction Center's outlook will still be valid, though, and you can see this is it at around 1 o'clock. The tornado watch expires at 8, although I wouldn't be surprised if they have to extend it or at least cut it off some and extend that part throughout hours past that. But yeah, that's what Futurecast predicts. Not necessarily sure if that's 100% correct, but we'll see. These are the current watches that we have in effect. Let's take a look at the Storm Prediction Center outlook for today. You can see that enhanced risk, that orange right there. That goes from Cape Girardeau. I think Rolla's within the slight risk. You can see, no, just barely out of the slight risk now. Poplar Bluff, Mountain Home, Jonesboro, New Barron, Murray. Those places you need to watch out because you are definitely within that enhanced risk. St. Louis looks like they're out of even that 5% risk, but I wouldn't be surprised if we still get a severe storm or two around the area. Just south there, you can see Rolla, Farmington, Carbonate around that slight risk, Sparta, Festus, and that marginal risk as well. You can see Mount Vernon almost within that slight risk, Godfrey just south of there, New Athens, Benton, these areas, all within that marginal to slight risk area. So still definitely some issues there, but if we get into it, here's the probability of tornadoes. 5% down here. That is within the tornado watch that we were talking about before. You can see that there, and you can see that highest chance of 5% here is within that. Let's take a look. There is no chance of significant tornadoes that's beyond 10%. Here we go. Let's take a look at large hail. Large hail is at 30%. High winds are at 30%, just in a much larger area, and that's why I think we might need that watch to the south here, because that's definitely a threat. So I wouldn't be surprised if a severe thunderstorm, or maybe even another tornado watch, is issued to the south there. And then finally, we can see there is a chance for significant hail today, and that is down here, and you can see that that means 2 inches or above. Significant wind looks unlikely, and significant tornadoes also are an unlikely thing to occur today. Also, I guess we may as well just take a look at what we're going to be getting on Saturday. This is the current Saturday outlook, and my outlook, which, like I said, you can watch in another video here. That's also looking nasty. So, yeah, that's all I really have to say. Thank you so much for watching this weather update. I know it's probably one of the longest videos I've posted, but it has a lot of important information within here that you're probably going to want to know, especially for this evening. A live stream will likely be underway here within the next hour or two. I wouldn't be surprised. I'll probably be live streaming by 5 o'clock tonight. So, yeah, thank you so much for watching. This is Microcasting St. Louis, signing out.